our president or vice president are not here. Should I start this or what?
Secretary, I will call the meeting of the July 2nd, 2024 Park Board meeting to order. And I would like to elect Bernie Marsh as the chairman pro tempore with the chairman and vice chairman not being here. Are there any objections to that? Okay, if not, Bernie, turn over the meeting to you.
All right.
Thank-
As far as roll call, we'll just note that Courtney Prestus and Jason Voss are not here. The rest are all present as well as.
I'm here.
Oh, are you?
On phone.
Okay, well, I'm sorry, I didn't know that. Great. We'll just note that Jason is not here. I should have asked if anybody was online. We also have our invitees Amanda Engelstad and Lisa Heiser here. Bailey Elkins is not. So we'll go to ratifying the agenda. Is there anything to add to our agenda for today?
Picked up in her report. I guess I'd like to continue this discussion about 4-H.
Can you not turn your microphone on? I can't hear you.
I don't know if we can probably cover it in her report, when she gives her report, but I'd like to discuss this 4-H facility that we talked at the May 9th meeting. It was discussed a little bit, but if we could possibly make a little time for that
Okay.
today.
Sounds good. It's an
Okay.
important item. So we'll move on to the, okay, well, anyone to accept the agenda as presented with Paul's ratifications? I need a motion.
I'd make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All right, all those opposed, same sign. The agenda has been accepted and as ratified. Minutes of the last meeting from June 3rd, 2024. Everybody's had a chance to take a look at them. I'd look for a motion to accept the minutes.
Make a motion to approve the June 3rd meeting minutes.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
We have a first and a second to approve the minutes from June 3rd meeting. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Minutes for June 3rd have been approved. Moving on to bills for approval.
But I did not receive the auditor's report for that, but you guys have the resolution in your packets for the commission side. So on the one side, the $83,544.22 is out of the main general fund for county parks. And then there's also the special projects fund, which is the restroom for $22,457.20. And then we also have a change order for $25,519.71.
519 or 819?
25,000, I typed 519. Let me look at the, did I type it?
25,519.71.
Yeah, and I took this one off of there. It's probably 819.71 because the actual change order form itself says 25,819.71, so likely a typo. I'll correct that.
I got a question on one of the bills.
Sure.
For Stefan Saw and Bike, says bike/harness, $479.98.
It actually wasn't a bike. That was the second weed eater with a harness that we got.
Okay.
Yep, and then there was service on the other one. They were able to fix that one and get it running and stuff, so now we have the two. Yep,
I was wondering.
I didn't
why you
notice
need a
that on
bike
there. Good.
harness, yeah.
Make me ride bike all over the place.
So in the last meeting, we had talked about, the Rough Rider Commission, we had $85,000, right, towards,
Yes.
so actually came under the way it looks, is that
For
correct?
now, yep. What they have spent already in the canceled checks is what they've given in that 79,000. They'll have more coming forward.
Okay.
Yep.
So how do we wanna do this? Do we wanna approve the the fairground special project, or you wanna just do the accounts for the county park total? Do we wanna do them separately, we wanna do them together?
Let's do them separately.
I think we should do them separately.
Okay, I'll make the motion to approve the accounts payable for $83,544.22.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a first and a second to approve the accounts receivable. Is there any more discussion? If not, we'll do a roll call vote. Commissioner Claris,
Aye.
Commissioner Nesser,
Aye.
Commissioner White,
Aye.
Commissioner Franchuk,
Aye.
Commissioner Courtney Priestess, I gotta learn how to say that.
Prestus.
Prestus, okay. Aye,
Aye.
and chair votes aye, so it is approved. Go on to the next one.
That'll be the special projects one for 22,457.20. That's the restrooms at the fairgrounds.
Mr. Chairman, I would move to approve and pay the bills for the special projects in the amount of $22,457.20.
Second.
First by Neil, second by Paul. Okay, is there any more discussion? Not, we'll do a roll call vote again. Commissioner Messer?
Aye.
Commissioner Claris?
Aye.
Commissioner White?
Aye.
Commissioner Franchuk?
Aye.
Commissioner Prestus?
Aye. I'm not a commissioner, but yeah.
You're not what? Oh, you're not a commissioner, yeah, you're right. Thanks for the correction. And chair votes aye, so that passes. So we will move on to
Change order.
County Parks Director Report, Lisa Heiser.
We need to do the change order number 9 on there too then. So change order number 9
Okay.
comes from Collings in 25,819.71. And what that was is we didn't have enough pressure to flush the toilets. And so we installed the pressure tanks, and then this change order is actually the install plumbing and the booster pump for the storage tanks to connect everything up and get it working. And it does work very well, so.
All right, I'm looking for a motion to accept the change order for $25,519.71.
Mr. Chairman, I would move that we approve change order number 9 in the amount of $25,819.71.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, we have a first and a second. Any more discussion?
It's 819 instead of 519 under.
Yes,
Oh,
correct.
Yep, my fault. I was reading it off of here. Okay, we will do a roll call vote on this. Commissioner Messer?
Aye.
Commissioner Claris?
Aye.
Commissioner White?
Aye.
Commissioner Franchuk?
Aye.
Board Chair Courtney?
Aye.
And appointed chair for the day votes aye also. Now we'll go on to Lisa's report.
All right, well, I have a pretty short and simple one for you, but the Rough Rider Days events have started in the 15th, so it started with our kids rodeo, and it was big. And so it was quite a success with the ground being pretty decent for them. Went into the carnival, and the carnival was very well received. They want to bring some bigger rides next year, so I'm not quite sure. We'll have to look at some room for them because they fill it up quite well They stayed an extra 2 days just because everything was going so good for them, and they love the facility. So it made it very easy for them to be here. And then the Rough Rider Days Rodeo was a huge success, being the first year that we moved it to this weekend so that we would be in conjunction with all the other rodeos in the region. And so we are very unprepared in stalling. We have 73 stalls, can't use the stock pens. That gives us typically an additional 22 pens. But so we're going to have to look at adding some, because we had quite a few horses that were self-penned and tied out. And so we wanted to make sure that we address that for next year so that everybody's comfortable. They love the facility. They love the restrooms. The restrooms opened up right on the 15th. And so we were able to use those, and people think they're the greatest thing ever, and they are. So,
Like I said, I had some
Yeah.
people comment to me about it.
yep.
And moving this date also, because there's so many rodeos, like you said, in the circle around here, it worked out really great we had great contestants, I mean.
Yes, we-
Top quality.
Very much so. And a lot of them, didn't know they were going to Greeley, and a lot of them chose to come to our rodeos over maybe some finals in Colorado. So it turned out really well for everybody to be able to see some of those NFR cowboys and cowgirls coming up here. And
They were impressed with the monies that were added, and as far as ours, as well as the other rodeos in the region, so it's just a big draw that everybody's working together on that.
Yeah, and it bring a lot of people to this community because we're kind of the hub of everything that's going on. Even still, for the Killdeer is the next 3 days, and then Mandan the next 3 days. So we're getting them to stay overnight here. So poor Bailey was probably up till 2 a.m. again, but it's working. And so yeah, it's very good, and they're very happy that we keep our fees low, that they can afford to stay here and go. And so, yeah, and commented a lot about how the facility looks, and it's easy to get in, get out, looks beautiful, so very clean. So, and then the 4-H, we did the 4-H Achievement Days, and those went really well until the last day. We actually installed a little water spray off area. The problem we have there is there's not enough pressure for 5, 6, 7 of them to wash at the same time. So we were looking at some of those issues and stuff for next year, but we had a bad storm coming in. So Elena, our emergency manager, requested that they move to an indoor facility. And then I think at some point, her and Kurt talked and said, get people out of there. So with that impending storm coming in, but they were able to use DSU's indoor, and it worked pretty good. They did a trailer show. So Paul, did you have anything to add on that part of it, or
As
what
far
do
as
you need?
4-H?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah, it's,
They had to cancel the premium sale though in the picnic, right? They were,
Yeah.
or we do that in this
Yeah.
month.
they're gonna follow.
They're
up,
gonna
and I think
reschedule
Kurt
it,
was
they
supposed to
said.
be here he was gonna give us a little update at some point. I think he's gonna introduce our new, employee over there, but, yeah, had made a scramble a little bit, and they got out of there. I guess the tent company wanted to pick
Yeah.
up their thing and get it out of there. There was a bit of a panic going on about that storm, so, but they rallied and they got everything moved over to Dickinson State. Dickinson State was very, helpful. They brought them in there, so that was great to see them support that whole thing.
Yep.
I guess they pulled off their achievement days or their livestock portion of it, and they are gonna probably look at a different date for their premium sale. They're talking about a couple of different options. I think they met yesterday, so we should know something about that.
Good, good. And then just a little update on the restroom part of it. We did a punch list, which you have in front of you, just for your knowledge of what we talked about. Commissioner Marsh and Scott Coling and myself and Al Heiser walked through and just pointed out some things, looked at some things. We did notice that there's a couple leaks that we have to deal with through the use over the past couple weekends. So they'll get in and fix those up, and then we'll have likely a final estimate. I know Neil wanted to maybe do another walkthrough and just make sure he didn't see anything too. So we'll probably do that before we do any final pay estimates and get the reserve out that we've withheld, so the retainage. So. Then concert tomorrow night.
Can I ask one thing real quick?
Yes.
Can you explain the drilling holes inside the doors and filling them
So-
with putty?
The first thing that they did was they drilled the holes in the wrong spot for the swing. They had them on the outside instead of the inside. So that was the first part, and then they didn't call for bars on the doors, and so they drilled holes for those, and then the handles were put in the wrong spot, so there was holes drilled for those. So what they did was they filled them in with a putty and then painted over them, and so you don't really see them. There's a couple that they haven't filled in yet that they have to take care of that are on this punch list. And I just did ask for a warranty on those doors, so if it cracks over the winter, that putty or whatever, and he said he would take care of whatever issues we have with them. So,
Okay.
Great. Any more questions?
I guess we can, do we want to have that 4-H
Yes,
discussion
you
now?
have that for discussion now, since we,
I just was a follow-up. In May, we had discussed this a little bit. 4-H has expressed some interest in, a facility. I think that we need a facility. I think it would be a great addition to our fairgrounds to, further the mission of having a county fair. I know we have this other facility that there's some, we've actually pledged dollars towards that, or the county has pledged dollars towards that facility. But we had discussed about possibly having some meetings with stakeholders and getting some people together. I know it's a busy time, but it'd be great if we could, even possibly form a committee to get together with 4-H, yourself, someone from this park board, get with them and start having some serious conversations about what they want, where they want, and I think that could probably be, in conjunction at some point. I mean, the master plan at the fairgrounds. I don't know. I don't think we really have necessarily a final master plan.
it's
we
changing all
do.
the time.
Yeah,
but
we-
we
yeah.
need to update it.
Yeah.
You're correct, yes.
Yeah, so, I mean, where a facility, like, potentially a standalone facility for 4-H would fit into the whole grand scheme of things, with this new facility that we're talking about in the future, I mean, where would this go? And I mean, those type of discussions need to be had so they can
Yes.
start, formulating a plan on what they really want and potentially raise money, so on and so forth. And we just need to give them some guidance, and I think it'd be good to
They need to give us guidance too.
well, exactly. Get together with one another,
Right.
give each other some guidance and get some kind of plan instead of just talking about it forever and wishing they can do it. But they don't really wanna, much like the Fair Association was, kinda a little bit paralyzed. They didn't have, a real good, they didn't know for sure it was gonna happen. So they want some, strong guidance from us.
And I guess maybe we should focus a little more on just doing a 4-H building.
Well, that's what I would like to at least, just have that discussion
And have
with
that-
them. And, where does it fit in this master plan? What are they really talking about? So I think it'd be a good idea to form a committee and, start those talks as soon as possible. It'd be nice if we could potentially, have these conversations in the next couple of months and then formulate a plan and possibly, move towards construction that it would fit into your fair season for next year. I mean, we would, if we started now, we might have a chance, right?
Right,
So,
right. So there is a committee that was formed on the Fair Board side to meet with the people that had a vested interest in the facility and what they're doing. It kind of got brought to a standstill over the fireworks litigation. And so now they're dealing with a little bit of that and some of the makeup of what would happen in terms of ownership of the facility, those types of things. So that discussion will happen today at 1:00. And then with just some legal things that they're talking about. And so we'll have a little bit of a talk there, and then we should know how they're gonna move forward, and then that plan will be provided to all of you guys.
So as I understand, Stark County owns that piece of property out there.
Correct.
And the facilities that are attached to it.
Correct, yes.
Well, like I said, I mean,
Sounds-
Yep.
it would be a good idea for us to, I mean, we're driving the bus. I mean, we lease that property to the Fair Association for them to use to put on the county fair and other things, but, it would be good for us to, Because it is Stark County property, we should definitely be in control of the master plan, for sure. And-
Yes, this park board is,
Yes.
correct. You guys approve all of it. So Commissioner Franchek and Commissioner Marsh are on that meeting, as well as Amanda. And then the Fair Board, Dustin will be on there, and
Courtney.
Courtney from here, yep.
Well, aside from that, I think Paul's recommendation of a committee, I think, is where we need to start. It sounds like he wants to head that committee.
I'll help.
I was thinking
But
that
I
same
would,
thing.
I would, make a recommendation that, Paul and maybe another member of this be on it. You have to keep it small or else you don't get anything
right.
done. So let's bring in a couple of 4-H personnel. Lisa, as far as being in charge of the facility, should sit down there, and maybe Kurt Freilich, as part of the 4-H conversation, should be on there as
Just-
well.
It just falls under my portfolio a little bit, so I
So
guess
why
I
don't
would.
you jump on with Paul, get a couple 4-H, get Lisa, get Kurt, and let's move forward, because I agree, we keep moving this down the road. They are part of, I've said it before, they are an integral part, they're in our DNA, so we need to do it, so.
Sounds good.
So do you want this committee to be separate from the committee that's already formed? Because I
Yes.
think that there's gonna be some issues maybe with bringing people in multiple times with multiple people. Do you think that, and maybe you can answer that?
Well, but the other,
'Cause they'll be the
we're not
same.
getting any action on the other one, and the Fair Association is doing what they're doing. So let's be the drive, like you said, let's drive the bus here. And I think if people are dedicated and want to do this, and we can get it handled in a couple of meetings rather than multiples of meetings, that if they're dedicated and interested, they'll show up.
This committee can't really make any decisions, but they can bring the recommendation to this park board.
As the other.
Yeah.
As the other group would also do the same thing. They would bring the recommendation to the Fair Board and to the Park Board, but whatever.
Yeah.
So this committee, how many have you guys got together on this issue at all?
Well, they have talked, and then we've had meetings to discuss how it's going to be able to move forward based on that litigation and based on ownership. And then we had an attorney on the outside bring some issues forward on some of the things that could maybe be, I don't know, Amanda, if you want to speak to that, I don't know. Not really. So we have a meeting this afternoon to discuss and clear up some of the things that maybe were brought forward, so. I don't know what else to tell you, but if you want to form another committee, we can, and I can have, if you want the Fair Board, if you want one person off of there, you can have them on there too, but however you guys want to do it. I have Paul,
I would-
Kurt,
I don't think
Somebody
that's a
from
bad idea to have
4-H.
someone from the Fair Association, be a
Why
part of
don't
it. Eventually, they'll be the ones,
Why don't Paul and I just sit on this other committee?
yeah. He's already on the Fair, that's your portfolio, so he could be a representative from the Fair Association, I'll be representative from this park board, and then we've got Lisa, Kurt Freilich, probably the 4-H council president, I suspect would be a good one, and any other people they would like to appoint. We don't want to get it too big, but just get moving and get these discussions going in the right direction here. What their ideas were, what they need, what they'd like to see,
Yeah, it
and-
doesn't pay to have two groups running around and doing the same thing, so.
yeah, I think it will be very confusing for
Yep.
some of the groups, that's why I asked
Absolutely.
the question, so, okay. And I'll let the Fair Association know kind of what's going on there and see if they have any questions for you, they can bring them to you, but
We'll know more today, so that's all fine. All right?
Thank you.
So is there gonna be any guidelines, and we're putting these two groups are together?
They're not two
Should we
groups.
have some expectations of when we need to be hearing back on things? I mean, this time next year, or?
Well, no, I'd like to see us by, our August meeting, at least a report of where we're at, so in between now and then, have at least one meeting and input those other folks, the 4-H folks, let them know that we wanna do this, and so, set a meeting a few weeks out, so they're prepared for it, that they can come to us and with, not cold. It'd be nice if they had some prep time and right? And, then it's just our job to listen and see what they want to do, and then we got to work with you and see how it flows and what they're proposing and where it would go, and, you know, how this all pieces together, if you will.
Yep.
So the goal is to hear something back by our August meeting.
At least a report.
Sure.
Yeah, and see where we're at. I mean,
Yeah.
hopefully, I know it's busy times, summer's busy and whatnot, but hopefully this subject's important enough we can get some interest and get people together, and I would think 4-H would be very receptive to getting together and
I would guess that they would be. We'll see what they can do in the next maybe 2 weeks here, because they do have their state fair at the end of the month, so we'll look at that and see, and I can schedule the meeting. If you guys want me to take care of that, I'll schedule a meeting with them all and see if we can get it
You know, and,
done.
you know, with this discussion, some of this work has been done, I think. I
Yep.
mean, this was kind of out in the wind a little bit previously, so they already have some ideas of what they'd like to see. And, you know, with those, and we even know some of the dimensions and whatnot, but ultimately we want to get, you know, really what they want to see and see if we can actually make that happen. You know, it'd be nice to get a ballpark number of what kind of money we'd be looking at.
Yep.
So.
And maybe we take that money that we had set aside for the multi-purpose building and funnel it into here and look at the bigger picture in the future. I don't know. Those are all different options.
Yeah.
Anyways, we'll put that together. Get that, and we'll have a report for the next meeting here. Moving on to old business.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
Lisa had brought it up, triggered a thought in my mind. You talked about the fireworks lawsuit. So there's been some comments out there that, is there going to be fireworks out at the fairgrounds? Is there not going to be fireworks out there? You know, it's the position of this board that there will not be fireworks out there. So what provisions have we made to make sure that doesn't happen? Just checking in, getting a comment, getting it out there.
Just as far as posting,
I mean, do we have security? Is this, I don't know, the sheriff's here, he could maybe address it as well.
we haven't requested.
Parking lot.
What's that?
I'm assuming we'll close the gate on the parking lot.
Okay.
Well, I can't really close the gate on the parking lot because I have people coming through to use the facility. Yeah.
Well, that facility is being leased by the Fair Association. They are under control of that facility.
Correct.
And it is in their lease agreement that, I mean,
Yep.
there's to be no fireworks out there. So, I mean, all we can do is hope that the Fair Association holds up their end of the bargain here.
Well, we're not gonna promote it, so I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the resolution is on there. We posted it, I think it was on the Dickinson, one of the Facebook pages that somebody was asking and said by resolution, they've said no, that there's nothing on any county properties. And so,
I don't know if that message has totally been received and accepted, and I'm just saying maybe,
Yeah.
you know, a little bit increased patrol,
yeah.
be as simple as that.
Is that
So,
possible, Corey? Thank you.
I
Thank you.
think there was some social media put up by the sheriff's department. I talked to Lieutenant Mayor, and he said he was gonna make sure he put on there no county property fireworks. And
It was, it's up there.
Thanks.
All right, anything else? We'll move on to old business. Lakeview Parks residents.
Right, you guys want to come up?
Good morning.
Morning.
She's hiding.
I'm Mel Zent. I'm a resident in Lakeview Estates, and this is one of my neighbors, Lindsay Becker. She's also a resident out there. The reason we're here is when, just to back up the train a little bit, we had a meeting with Lisa out at the courthouse, the Stark County building regarding the park. And first of all, I want to thank you guys for putting monies into this thing, because I live out there a little better than 21 years. There's other people that are older than I that live out there, and nothing has ever been done. So to see what's happening, we appreciate that very much. So anyway, but we did talk a little bit at that one meeting, and out of that meeting, I was the one that actually brought up that we should have a couple residents from the subdivision beyond this, so we can distribute the news to our people out there. And because I opened up my mouth, I was the first one nominated. So Lisa volunteered, Lindsay volunteered, and then Gordon Kessel, he is moving his daughter, so that's why he is not here today. So we're basically the three that are representing our people. So anyway, the meeting that we had, the comments that were on this list here is, you know, everything looked good on the north side of the, it's a two-part park as far as I'm concerned, the north side and the south side. The north side's gonna have the playground equipment, and then we're gonna have the picnic shelter. That all looks good. The south side, we do have that tennis court there, and this is why we submitted this petition. We understand that you guys wanted to do away with the tennis court. We don't want it to disappear. We want to keep it. And in addition to that, if you look at the petition and the drawing that is submitted with that, the north end of that tennis court, we were recommending that if we could have basketball hoops put in there, it's gonna be a multi-use court is what I'm getting at. Okay? And on the south side, if there'd be any monies available, if it could be striped for pickleball. That's what we really wanna keep. And looking at the current drawing here, that's all going away. It's green space with a dog park, and I can tell you right now, that's one thing we do not want is a dog park.
Well, I think we actually moved away from the dog park. Not to interrupt you, but we did,
Oh,
I
that's
mean,
good,
that,
because it's on this current one here.
yeah.
We've modified it
Yeah, we
somewhat.
have
yeah.
modified it. We were, that wasn't discussion, that was
Okay.
my harebrained idea, that was, okay. But it just wasn't quite big enough to even really probably even achieve that, so I think we've moved past that, and we're not gonna even put the chain link up and
Okay.
just make it a green space, try to make it beautiful if we can, I mean, we understand, but continue on with your, the tennis court idea.
Well, like I said, we want to turn it into a multi-function court. It's not just going to be a tennis court. Last week, Sunday, matter of fact, there were a couple young teenagers playing tennis out there. So it still is used. But the only thing is our basketball court, which is really in bad shape on the north side, that's going away because of the playground area. And all we're asking is if we could incorporate, you know, basketball hoops on the north end of that tennis court. And then, like I said, if we could stripe it for pickleball on the south portion, it becomes a multi-use area. And it's used, people. It's, there ain't a week that goes by in the summertime where there aren't kids over there. We had grandkids. Well, they're all growing up, but we're gonna have another one coming here next month. And grandma gets to babysit, so, you know, she's gonna wanna utilize that concrete surface as well, so. But we're here today to ask that, you know, if we can keep that concrete pad, or if there's, you know, it's got cracks in it, yes, and it holds water, but I think if we re-landscape around the perimeter of it, get the dirt's built up, and that's what holds the water. But if we could re-landscape it a little bit, that would drain off. And we got good drainage to the southeast corner of that property.
So the only difference between a tennis court and a pickleball court is the striping, right? Paul, you're the subject matter expert.
Oh, I'm
at
not
this.
either, that'd be Neil.
Yeah, right, thank you. Yeah, obviously, the physical size is about half of the size of it, so half of the tennis court could
Okay.
be a pickleball court.
But you can stripe it. It's
Yeah.
basically, it's contained inside of a tennis court, right? You can have both.
Yeah, it
I
could be-
mean,
it could be
I've looked at
striped.
this. I mean, you can get, I mean, you're a professional. You can tell us what's the condition of that concrete.
You know, it's not bad. I mean, it's got cracks in it, and somebody went and sprayed all the weeds in the cracks, and I think if somebody would spend some time and put some caulking down and seal those cracks, I think it's gonna last a long time. We have a sandy surface out there, so the water just drains away. It's not like it's gumbo or clay. If it'd be that surface, as many years as that tennis court's been there, we would have extreme offsets in it if it'd be clay. And it tells you already that it's not.
So the two basketball hoops that are on the north end currently, you want them just moved down there?
No, they're destroyed.
Okay.
That's unfortunate. We do have people coming out from the city, and they used to play out there. Matter of fact, we had a witness that watched the three individuals play basketball, and then when it got dark here, all three hung on the north one and tore it down. And that's the way it is now. So I'm just hoping that, you know, people grow up and respect what they got.
But the pole's still good there. It's just the backboard and the hoop, correct, that are busted?
Yeah. But that's all gonna disappear because, like I said, the new park is gonna go in there.
Yeah,
Yep, that would have to be.
on the south end there, I mean, there's no lighting down there, so it's pretty tough to see, you know, there's any vandalism going on down there for sure. And I'm sure you don't want lighting on that court.
No, not really. I mean, we don't have lighting in the whole loop, you
Yeah.
know, which it makes the loop really nice. And, you know, we kind of feel like we're living in the country out there, you know, even though we're adjacent to the city. And it keeps people out of there. And normally, as far as damage, you know, it doesn't happen that often, but I can't sit here and guarantee you it's not going to happen.
That happens everywhere.
One of the
Exactly.
considerations that was taken here was initially, I mean, well, you think the concrete's okay, maybe it is okay. We discussed, you know, taking it out, and then originally there was some discussion about replacing with another surface. I'm hesitant to do that just because those surfaces, I mean, well, eventually you're gonna have to replace it again. It's a money suck. And I was against that, but I wouldn't be, I mean, we are gonna do the north end, and we were just trying to make that area, and I think we probably still could do some things. Lisa, maybe help me, but I mean, we could still do some things on the south end to beautify that area. There was some talk about taking some trees out, adding some trees. I mean, it would cost us less to just leave the concrete there currently and add a couple basketball courts, I suspect, but
So the concrete itself, I know that a couple of the people that have looked at it said that it's crumbling from underneath because it is from 1978. So I don't know, you know, that bid that they put in there was the 62,582 from Wind Construction. That's what I brought to you guys at the last meeting, to replace it. And it would be my recommendation just to replace it and make it all look
That's what I-
decent.
I would
I mean,
rather.
I can get it probably for cheaper than this amount, with a, you know, a different bid, but, I just see where we can still plant the trees. We moved the parking, so the parking isn't on here. We just didn't have the architect redraw this. We weren't gonna make changes to that part of it and stuff. That's why you see the dog park and that stuff on. We moved the parking so that it's, whoops, over here.
well, we pledged, what, 125 to this
Yes,
project thus
correct.
far? And I think, well, obviously, one of the considerations, I think Corey was part of that conversation the last go-around about the cost. It was another 60,000 for concrete.
Correct.
Yeah.
And it, I mean, this is foot traffic and bicycle traffic on it. And, you know, the crumbling that's underneath, it's not the surface. We can repair the surface, and how many more years can we get out of the surface?
Yeah, you know, that's maybe a consideration or or, you know, maybe a compromise. It's just maybe seal up what's there, make it as good as possible for now, and then down the road, potentially, you know, look at it for replacement. You know, it wouldn't cost much to put a couple basketball hoops up and do some striping. That's not a big.
That's the cheap part of it. That's, I mean,
That's simple stuff, and
I'm just looking at the fact that we're making that whole area, updating it.
Yeah.
Depends on what it looks like.
Yeah, maybe Mel, you can trigger a thought from your city days. Eagles Park, that was concrete that they overlaid a kind of a, I call it tartan, it's not the technical term, tartan product over the top of that. Do you remember doing that?
Vaguely.
Vaguely, so do I. I'm just wondering if that's a practical application, if that's only a Band-Aid to the situation.
The only thing I can say with that, Neil, is if the product is still there today, then we know it's working.
Well, we play down there, and tennis is being played down there. It's, I think, in pretty good shape.
It's still holding up today. So it's been there for a long time. So, you know, that's
And I
an
have no idea what cost is on that.
I don't either.
Ultimately, though, your foundation's pretty important here. I mean, if you want that, right, if it's
Yeah,
gonna start heaving.
if the bottom is deteriorating, you know, I'm looking at the top, you know, I see the cracks on the top, but if somebody looked at it closer and there's deterioration on the bottom, then maybe that's the plan we have to go with, but we don't want to go away with it. I mean, that's the bottom line here.
If I can just say too, if you're talking about, you know, we definitely want to keep a concrete surface. I have lived there since 2010. I have 4 kids, ages 4 to 13, and there's a lot of families out there with little kids. And my family, personally, we use it, I mean, weekly. My kids, we like to play tennis. They like to draw on it with chalk. They like to ride their bikes. All of my kids, all of my ages, use that tennis court. All of the housing out there has big backyards, so a grassy space isn't necessarily something that we're looking for because we all have beautiful yards and backyards to use. So the concrete surface is something that we don't all have and that we really love and utilize, all the families out there.
I think some of that green space was, I mean, maybe we didn't take your subdivision really into consideration with the green space. We're also trying to provide something for our citizens outside of your subdivision, you know. So, but I don't know what anybody else thinks, but I guess I would be at least, maybe we could phase this thing, just leave it as is. And we could add a little bit to it and put some basketball courts. I mean, I'm open for suggestions here.
I mean, I just don't want to put a Band-Aid on it either. If caulking it, that's just a Band-Aid also.
I guess what we're saying here is we don't want to spend a lot of money. You know, that's not what we're asking, but, you know, because you are putting quite a bit of money into the north side. You're putting the shelter, the picnic shelter in. But it does bring up a question, though. On the plan that I submitted to you guys, it shows that the parking lot is drawn in there. You can come up, Lisa, if you want. This is the area here. Is that still staying, or are we going back to this concept?
Nope, it's this one.
Okay,
Yep, they made a motion to have that here instead of here so that we can try and leave those trees that were, the one trees are coming out, but this side here will leave.
okay.
As they come in.
The only concern I have with it, and you're gonna have to make a 180-degree turn to get into this parking lot here, and then you're actually gonna have to probably turn and face Ed Schmidt's house. So you're looking at a 20-foot stall plus 24 feet to back out and turn to get out. It's gonna eat up pretty much half of this bottom portion of this property, not just this little box here. So
It's
my
possible, yeah.
yeah. So my recommendation would be is to go back to the original plan and just leave the north end in, like it's shown on the drawing.
Al, did you have something on?
Mel, come on back here once. Show me what you're talking about.
Let me grab mine.
Yeah.
Oh, this is what you guys are proposing. Have to come in. The size of this drawing is not to scale.
Yeah.
By the time you get in here, you know, park to the facing west.
That's why I'm saying, we need 24 feet to back out and get out, and you need another 20 feet for the parking stalls, so it's gonna eat up quite a bit of this property.
Okay.
That's why I'm saying, let's go back to what we have here, right here.
Well, you're crossing out those parkings, right? And you want to
I
flip,
didn't cross them out,
Oh,
that
so-
was crossed out by somebody else,
okay,
Okay.
us.
Apparently.
Okay, I gotcha.
And we apologize for burning up this time, but.
Oh, no,
it's
it's important to do it
us.
right.
Yeah, it's important to us.
I don't remember the discussion that we changed the parking. When was that done?
We changed the parking in the May meeting. And then I brought back to the June meeting the concrete.
Well, I guess I'm looking for some direction on what,
Well,
Park Board wants to do.
I think we can honor the request
Oh,
of the
absolutely.
residents out there and still move this forward. We don't have to make a financial decision today. I think that was part of the concerns previously, is that this would have sucked up more than 1 year's worth of budget on improvements. So I think it's pretty good timing on your part. We're moving into another budget cycle. So I just think we keep moving forward. Appreciate your comments and see if we can't accommodate what's going on and keep you guys in the conversation so that it's done correctly, representing everybody, but at least addressing all the concerns you guys have.
did you get everybody's names on, that live in that, is everybody's name on that petition?
Actually, we're about 3 short, and the only reason they were vacationing, and we'd done this within a week's period of time.
Good.
And, but everybody, I was the one that actually went around to all the signatures. We were gonna divide it up, but Lindsay and her family took a vacation, so she was gone part of that week, and so I just decided to go around myself, and yeah, everybody, it was supporting to keep, the tennis court there and make it a combination court.
Good.
So,
Okay, so just to be clear, we're gonna move forward with our current plan, but we're gonna leave the concrete as is. We can discuss this.
We'll discuss that some more, maybe
Yeah.
Yep.
get some other ideas from Lisa on that.
but the north portion is, if you guys wanna move forward and get going on
That's,
that, we will.
that's done.
We
I
have
think.
to.
Yeah.
So, anyway,
Great, thank you.
and I think we wanted to decide, or we did at the meeting, the playground equipment.
Yes,
There was 2
correct.
different age groups. We elected to go with the older age group playground equipment.
both.
Oh, are they? Okay.
But the committee's we're gonna meet with you guys and then, get that figured and ordered so that it's
Okay, and then the roofing material, we decided we'd like an earth tone color on the roof, so, okay. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to 20,
Before you guys move on, just because you did make a motion to tear the concrete out,
Yeah.
probably should make a motion not to or something, just to make it clarified, I guess.
I would make a motion that we put anything other than the committed funds on hold until we get some further input, discussion, and additional plans to include the demolition of the concrete.
Okay.
I'll second.
is there any more discussion? So I don't need a roll call vote for this, I can just go with the, all those in favor of Commissioner Messer's motion signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed? Okay, we will go with that going forward and leave the concrete, I guess, or however that was set up, so. We'll move on to 2024 committed funding.
Okay, in front of you, you have the funding request that we'll do for July, the biker reunion one for 3,000, and then August, the PBR for 35, and then I think we'll probably have, the rest of those can wait till the end, I think. Because we resolved that we don't have to do those 2 months ahead of time, right, for the auditors to, I can just do the email and, okay. So just those two is all that we're requesting for now. And I did remove the kids' fair one because they got enough monies coming in on the kids' fair side on theirs. Sponsorships, I should say.
Refresh my memory here. What is the biker reunion?
That is a motorcycle club here in town. They're holding a concert and just kind of a get-together as a reunion of 20 years that club has been in existence. And so they rented the facility to just host the concert, and they're going to,
And what would the 3,000, I
Towards
understand
the
the other ones
concert.
where we're doing,
Yep.
you know, awards money and prize money, but
yep.
that 3,000, what's
Just to
that?
be able to bring in a concert so that they could have some things out there, just because it's a different event. So when I talked to them, they couldn't afford to bring a concert that they wanted in without some additional funds. And so when I talked to them about their contract to come in, that was the discussion, that we would help bring some of that into the community.
Is that open to the public?
Yes, it is.
Will there be a gate for the
Yes.
concert? So that, you know, going back to this fair, our relationship with the Fair Association, this is a fair association, you putting it on through the Fair Association, right? They're handling all the,
No, not through the Fair Association. They just
just rented
rent the
it.
facility, just like the other things that we do.
oh, that makes
Oh,
sense.
sorry, I should have said.
Just like Rough Rider Commission, everybody rents from us.
Yeah,
guys
they're
are
just
rent-
renting it.
Okay.
Yep,
All right.
yep, same
You
idea.
rent it from the Fair Association?
Yes, the Fair Association leases the property, and then I do the contracts for them to fill up the facility for the year, the season.
I guess I struggle with that one a little bit. Have they gone to CVB and see if they can get grants for their,
I don't know that.
I mean, it doesn't really,
Is it like a local act, or is it gonna be like a, what's planned for, who's the band? Is it gonna be a draw? I mean, people are gonna wanna come out and see this bunch? Or where are they
I'm
from?
not, I don't even
I don't recall who they are,
Yeah.
just because, yeah, I don't remember what it is, but yes, he said that it would draw quite a few people coming into the community.
I think it would be better if they come in post-event, because what happens if they actually do generate revenue excess of expenses? We're still obligated for $3,000.
Well, they still gotta provide receipts and everything, don't they?
They will,
Yep.
just the same as the other ones do, yep.
And if their revenue exceeds expenses, we don't pay anything.
Nope. No. No, these are just discussions that we have as they commit to coming to the facility. So in my budget, you guys allot the $160,000 total for events coming into the community. And so these are the discussions that I have pre-meeting wise. And then we changed it at the beginning of the,
But I mean, if you look at all the events listed May through August, they all have a common theme with the exception of that event. I mean, they're all related to, you know, Home on the Range, Rough Rider Days, bull riding, bull team, mounted shooting, Wrangler team, you know, all those have that, this one doesn't.
which is a good thing. We're bringing in different things for everybody in the community versus just livestock or just rodeo, that sort of thing.
At
And
an
that's,
expense, yes, I agree.
Rocket 38 is the band.
Okay. Says it's one, is this one day? I'm sorry, I should know more about this, I just don't. Is 1 day, 2 day camping, non-camping, and
Just camping, it's a Saturday event.
yep, just a one-day event that they'll do, and there'll be some campers there overnight.
Do they have security?
Yes, they do. Yep.
and the organization that's actually holding this is that, they're a nonprofit, right? Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, local nonprofit.
Correct.
Is there any more discussion? Otherwise, I'm looking for a motion to either accept or reject funding approval.
Which ones in August are you looking for pre-approval on?
The very first one, the PBR that we do, they switch dates, so they're the very beginning instead of the very end of the month.
So I'll make a motion, we approve 35,000 for the professional bull riding event.
Is there a second to that?
I'll second that.
Any more discussion? If not, I guess I'll go for a roll call vote. Commissioner Besser?
Aye.
Commissioner Claris?
Aye.
Commissioner White?
This is only for the first event, correct?
This is for the one
In
The
August.
PBR, yep.
Okay. Aye.
Commissioner Franchuk?
Aye.
Courtney?
She's probably off by now.
Okay.
Getting her.
Chair votes aye. And what do you guys want to do with the other one?
I feel that the funds should be committed to these just by virtue of bringing in the different events and, you know, everything that we're doing. You know, you guys gave me originally leeway to make these decisions and bring in what I felt was the best for the community. And these are the funds that I've committed to these people. So if that wants to change for next year, I think that would be good. But it really is a discussion that I've already had with them.
Well, we've talked about this before, the unilateral ability to make that decision. These funds, go to the Fair Association right? Or actually through the park board here, but.
Yeah, it doesn't go through Fair Association
Right,
at all for this.
I'll stand
Yep,
corrected
yep,
on that,
yep,
but
yep.
this is, to me, this is unique. I could understand, post-event if they came in and said, we were $2,780 short. It's just, I don't know, I struggle with it, I'm sorry.
Dickinson's version of Sturgis this year.
I don't think it'll get that extreme. Sturgis
Not
is pretty
quite.
tame.
Chairman, may I interject on this?
Please.
So, I think this is a great event. I think what Lisa's doing is a great thing and bringing diversity to the fairgrounds, and I think this is gonna bring in a lot more people than we think it will. So I think it's a great event. I think you should support it. But I would like you guys to keep in mind, moving forward next year, we only have a minimum amount of deputies on the road at a time, and these events cost the county money for us to staff these things. I have a philosophy of being out there and deterring incidents, and it's working quite well, and we want to continue doing that, and just for the safety of everybody. So we do provide overtime details for things like this. So in the future, I don't know if that's something the tenant can start chipping in for or whatever, but
Well, that's a great point. So, I mean, they are to provide their own security.
Yes, they are.
So is it necessary that the sheriff's department's out there if they're providing their own security?
Well, the sheriff's office is gonna have to go out there if there's an incident.
correct. So
call.
we would prefer to have one or two deputies out there for the concert. Anyway, I'm not gonna have them out there all night while they're camping out there and things like that. But for the actual event that's open to the public, I think it's a good idea.
But you're making my point, which is we are already making a contribution to this event, and this 3,000 would be over and above that. And in that regard, I too want diversity out there. I want other events. I just don't think that we should be the partial funding source for every event that elects to go out there. That so.
Well, I guess I'm looking for a motion for this thing.
For the July event.
Yes.
For the July event.
Well, the horse may already be out of the barn because we committed the 160 for events. Lisa has committed 3,000 to this event. I don't know if you can back out of that. I don't support it, but I don't know if we can back out of it because there's been a commitment made. But and that's part of the process. Maybe we need to review a little bit too on how these. Maybe it has to be a request first before we make a commitment, and then authorize the funds.
I think legally, if you've made Lisa an agent of this board to have these transactions, and she has committed this money, legally speaking, I think you're probably on the hook for it.
My feeling is that under Tuesday, I get this, we already probably committed to this, I think, in some way, but I think if they come here next year, I think they should come in forward, somebody should, from that group should come forward and see what kind of profit, if there was a profit or not in it.
Then I think every group should come forward to us. I mean, we give Lisa that authority and that responsibility and that trust. And if it doesn't work for one, then it doesn't work for all, and they all have to come to us.
I just feel it's
I mean, they all should make an application.
I should say, like Neil says, it doesn't really fit in with what we've been in the other ones, but I'd be willing to go for it. I mean, if there's, they're not, to come forward with this and show what kind of a profit, if they made profit or not.
Well, I'll jump out there. I'll make the motion. Giddy up.
And I'll second.
Okay, we have,
What your motion is exactly.
The
We're
July.
gonna fund the biker reunion for, we're gonna help promote the biker reunion for $3,000.
and we have a second.
Yes.
We'll go with the roll call vote. Commissioner Claris.
Aye.
Commissioner White.
Aye.
Commissioner Messer.
No,
Commissioner Franchuk.
Aye.
Courtney's not on. Chair votes aye. Motion passes.
And I do like the idea of having different events other than just what's normal, so.
And the fact is, this was on the list since the beginning of, and we bypassed it until the last minute.
Yeah, and
Should
that's
have been
maybe,
questioned way earlier.
and maybe, I don't know how the process can change, and maybe we should probably, before any money gets committed to anyone, get these ideas, these ideas should get vetted prior to,
So I said, if
before
you're gonna,
commitment.
if you wanna make an application, everybody fills out an application and brings it here.
Yeah,
From the Rough Riders to the 4-H to whoever.
yeah. Can be a little bit of a slippery slope, right? So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
All right, do we have any news business? Or?
Any new business? If not, I'll look for a motion to adjourn.
so moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. The park board meeting is adjourned.